It's Amy, your Gray Girlfriend, and welcome to the Gray Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. First, let me say that I'm so happy and grateful that you're here with me. Out of the more than 3 million podcasts available, you chose this one, so thank you. This podcast was created for high-achieving women, real women who face and conquer real challenges, real women who are ready to take their lives to the next level. Between us all, we've been through it all, and I'm here to tell you, you can thrive despite it. So whether you're commuting to or from work or doing one of the other 50,000 things you do on a weekly basis, pop in your earbuds, my friend, and let's go. Welcome to the Gray Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. This is your host, Amy Blair Lawson. Today's episode is entitled, Quick, Reload. Back in 2002, I saw the film We Were Soldiers, and I'll confess I saw it because I love Sam Elliott, and to this day will watch anything he is in. Although I couldn't get through the series called The Ranch on Netflix because of all the atomic dropping of the F-bomb. But hey, I digress. I love Sam Elliott. Anyway, the movie was based on the book We Were Soldiers Once and Young, written by retired Lieutenant General Hal Moore and reporter Joseph L. Galloway, both of whom were in the Battle of Iron Drang in Vietnam. At the time of the battle, Hal Moore held the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Sam Elliott played Sergeant Major Basil Plumley, a highly decorated Army officer known for his service in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, particularly for his actions during the Battle of Ia Drang. He served from 1942 to 1974 and was recognized for his bravery with multiple awards, including the Silver Star. Sergeant Major Plumley was a crusty, no-nonsense badass whom the men under his command feared but also looked to for guidance. In a pivotal scene, the regiment was in the jungle anticipating an attack. The young soldiers, though trained, were understandably anxious. Many had never been in combat. They didn't relish the idea of taking a life and were afraid of their own lives being taken. But there they were, faced with that choice, kill or be killed. And as the enemy rushed toward the battalion, the first shot rang out and the battle commenced. Soldiers on both sides were being wounded and killed, but despite the chaos that surrounded them, Sergeant Major Plumley kept his cool. Did he enjoy being shot at? Of course not, but he didn't deny the situation, and he wasn't shaken by his circumstances. So why am I talking about Sergeant Major Plumley? Because that one scene has stuck with me. I've thought about it every time I felt as though my life was falling apart. So what does this have to do with life? With you, with your life? Think about it. Everywhere you turn, you hear people talking about chasing dreams. They're launching businesses, they're publishing books, they're training for marathons, they're building families and careers. Social media celebrates success stories in sharp focus, but it often leaves out the quieter truth beneath every impressive highlight reel, and that truth is this: none of it happens without resilience. Resilience is not about being unshakable. It's about learning how to bend without breaking, to stay calm when faced with events that seem hell-bent on taking you down, to adapt gracefully when life veers off course, to reload and keep moving, even when the road feels impossibly long. You see, dreams are fragile things. They begin with sparks of imagination. They are delicate and easily extinguished by doubt and rejection or failure. To bring them to life requires a sturdier kind of energy. It takes the resilience to fall and to recalibrate, to reload and rise again. Think about electricity and the telephone and air travel and the positive impacts these three things have had on the world. Here in the first world, we often take these three things for granted. But without Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, and the Wright brothers' ability to reload every time their efforts produce something other than their desired outcomes, everyday people would still be reading by candlelight or oil lamps, and communicating over long distances through letters, and traveling long distances by foot or by animal locomotion with carts and wagons, or by boats or ships for those who live near water. What a different life we'd all lead without their ability to reload. So what is reloading? Reloading is resilience, and resilience is more than just bouncing back, though most people may describe it this way. I, however, maintain that this definition misses something essential. True resilience, or reloading, is not a simple return to the previous state. It's growth through difficulty. It's a process of transformation, like a metal being tempered in fire. Psychological resistance involves three key dimensions. First is cognitive flexibility. This is the ability to reinterpret challenges and failures as information rather than threats. Second is emotional regulation. This is the capacity to feel pain or fear without being consumed by it. Third is social connection. This is the willingness to give and receive support in times of vulnerability. These three elements work together to create what researchers call adaptive competence, the skill of thriving under pressure. People who live resiliently don't pretend life is easy. They've simply developed the inner infrastructure to handle what life delivers. Take Thomas Edison. He famously conducted thousands of unsuccessful experiments before inventing the light bulb. When asked how he persisted through failure, Edison reframed his experience. He hadn't failed. He merely discovered thousands of ways that didn't work. Take Alexander Graham Bell. He struggled for years to get his ideas off the ground. He faced skepticism and technical obstacles in one of the longest patent battles in history. And then there are the Wright brothers. They battled family illness and depression and repeated technical failures. They built and crashed many prototypes, constantly revising designs and learning from each setback instead of giving up. The world was and continues to be transformed by those who have the ability to extract learning from setbacks, who don't allow themselves to be consumed by fear and doubt and worry, and who have the courage to leave their egos at the door and commit to their own personal growth and development so they can become the best versions of themselves. The world was and continues to be transformed by those who have the ability to reload and move forward. There is science behind resilience. For decades, psychologists believe resilience was a rare trait possessed by a lucky few. But research over the past 30 years tells a different story. We now know that resilience is a skill, not a gift. Studies of trauma survivors and entrepreneurs and elite athletes and even children growing up in extreme poverty reveal a common pattern. Resilient individuals share certain mindsets and habits that anyone can learn. Resilience has its roots in the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself through experience, a process called neuroplasticity. When we face challenges and respond deliberately rather than reactively, we literally strengthen the neural pathways associated with emotional control and problem solving and optimism. Every time we recover from disappointment, we reinforce our capability to handle the next one more effectively. This means resilience grows with practice. It's like building psychological muscle. Consistency and challenge make it stronger. Resilience shapes the life of your dreams, and here's why. Creating the life of your dreams is not a linear journey. No path worth walking is free of missteps. But here's what often goes unspoken. Your success will depend far less on the brilliance of your strategy than on your endurance when your plans appear to fall apart. Resilience is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. It's what keeps passion alive when the spotlight dims. It's what helps you refocus when motivation wanes, and what allows you to find meaning even in moments of loss or uncertainty. Here are 3 crucial ways resilience transforms dream building into reality. First, resilience turns fear into focus. Our brains are wired to resist uncertainty, which means every big dream triggers self-doubt. Resilience doesn't eliminate fear, but it teaches you to move forward despite it, to treat fear as information rather than a stop sign. Second, resilience fuels perseverance. Every major success story, whether in business or art or personal transformation, is the product of persistence through what likely felt like repeated failure. Resistance helps you sustain effort long enough to see results, even when progress feels invisible. Third, resilience fosters creative problem solving. When things don't go as planned, and things won't always go as planned, resilient minds pivot rather than collapse. They see detours as opportunities, not disasters. That flexibility creates new pathways to the dream. As I mentioned previously, resilience is not some magical trait bestowed upon a few. It is a skill that can be developed by anyone who chooses it. And the good news is that you're never too old to develop it. Resilience doesn't begin with external change, but with internal mastery. It's the way you interpret and respond to life's unpredictability. I'm going to share 5 mindset shifts to practice, and the more you practice them, the quicker you can reload when life throws you a curveball. First, you want to immediately redefine failure. Resilient people view failure as feedback, not a verdict. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? They ask, what is this teaching me? This subtle shift transforms setbacks into data, helping you refine your approach rather than abandon it. Second, start practicing emotional literacy. You can't regulate emotions you don't understand. So take time every day to identify what you're feeling, whether it be fear or frustration or disappointment, and name it without judgment. Emotional awareness is the first step toward growth. Third, anchor yourself with purpose. Purpose is the North Star of resilience. When you're deeply connected to why you're doing something, the inevitable hows become bearable. Dream building grounded in meaning isn't about achieving, it's about becoming. Fourth, build a resilience routine. Habits create stability when life feels unstable. Daily practices such as journaling and mindfulness and even moving your body keep your emotional baseline steady, making you less reactive when the curveballs start flying. In short, we make our habits and then our habits make us. Fifth, strengthen your social fabric. Resilience is not a solo endeavor. One of the strongest predictors of post-traumatic growth is support from others. So surround yourself with people who remind you of your strength when you forget it. Adversity actually plays a role in your growth. It can be tempting to wish for a smooth, obstacle-free life, but the fact is, struggle is an indispensable part of human development. Without tension, there would be no growth. Without resilience, there can be no strength. Think about how muscles grow. They grow by tearing and rebuilding stronger fibers. Mental and emotional resilience follow the same principle. Each time you move through difficulty, you expand your capacity to handle life with calm and confidence. Psychologist Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote that meaning arises from our attitude toward unavoidable suffering. His insights echo a core truth found in modern resilience research, and that is this: adversity reveals not just our limits, but also our latent potential. So the more you grow, the more you can grow. There are hidden rewards of living resiliently. Resilience doesn't just prepare you for challenges, it changes the way you experience life itself. When you trust your ability to recover, uncertainty becomes less frightening. You begin to take risks aligned with your authentic desires, not just choices that feel safe. Resilient individuals report higher levels of self-esteem and satisfaction and optimism. Their confidence is quiet but real. It stems from the lived experience of surviving difficulty. They no longer fear falling because they've learned how to reload and rise. And perhaps the most beautiful reward of resilience is freedom. Freedom from perfectionism and from fear of failure and from the illusion that you must have everything figured out before you start. Resilience gives you permission to live boldly, knowing that no matter what happens, you can reload and continue becoming more fully yourself. So start now. You will stumble. You will question yourself. The dream will morph and stretch and occasionally scare the hell out of you. But if you continuously reload, each unexpected twist becomes part of your story rather than the end of it. I'm wishing you peace and plenty of resilience. Until next time, this is Amy, your gray and continuously reloading girlfriend. Hey, it's Amy. Did you know that what we tell ourselves about ourselves impacts every decision we make? Every decision. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, RTT can help. Want to know more? Go to amyblairlawson.com or click on the calendar link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary 30-minute consultation. Oh, one last thing. I can't forget the legal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The language a lawyers write that I have to read to you. Well, here it goes. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a certified divorce financial analyst, and a licensed investment advisor, this podcast is not intended as a substitute for a private session or a consultation. Got it? All right. Until next time, wishing you peace and plenty of all good things.